So today we're going to talk about the possible leaks we heard about. It's going to be just a little bit, but I'm sure you guys will take that and run to the wind with it, right? So another thing, we'll go over Adepticon, the Golden Demon, pretty much models we went over. We have pictures of every orc, well, just about every orc model that was there. We'll also talk about our personal experience, who we got to meet and talk about. And then we'll go over some questions that we have as people ask us questions that we were going to go over during the stream, and then end it with our normal community stream, which is where we show pictures from our Discord and everything like that. So sadly, the only picture we don't have of the Golden Demons is actually the person who won with a little icon in their thumbnail, right? That little flyer.
Yeah, so we put it on the thumbnail.
Yeah, that was mostly my fault. So sorry about that. So for sure, thank you, Wicked Joe. Greatly appreciate it. Keep that up. Happy 2-gay. War day, all day, baby. Yeah. And thank you to any of you new gets in here. This is going to be a good one, and we're going to have plenty to talk about. So yes, first, let's just start off with, because I don't like to leave y'all hanging and diddling. So we're going to talk about the little leaks we heard. You know what I'm saying? So right off the back, these are not super deep. Take it with a grain of salt if you want. Call me a liar. I don't care. Knock your teeth out. What we're going to do is we're going to take this, extrapolate on it, get hyped up about it, and then keep it going. So first thing we heard about the first detachment, which I'm already starting to just say that's probably going to be the most competitive one possibly, is 2 turns of the wall with a possible Nob/Warboss detachment. So this detachment is going to favor the Warbosses. The Nobs, pretty much our elite infantry. Therefore, we're going to get double WAAAGH. You know, I think that's awesome. It sounds exciting, but it makes me think, like, what the heck is the WAAAGH banner doing then?
Right.
You know, like,
well, you don't need to bring in this detachment, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, right? They just keep him with that, and they're like, he's not a part of this, even though he's called a knob. You know, so hey, unnecessary. No, you get 3 turns of WAAAGH with him, I guess, now.
Right.
So
you get WAAAGH the entire game with his unit.
Yeah, so that leaves so many options out on the table, because a lot of our data sheets run around the WAAAGH. I mean, if you look at our actual data sheet abilities, the Morkanot, the Gorkanot, the Mega Knobs, the Nabok Wall Banner, Gazgul Traka with Makari, you know, that becomes the whole point of our army. And that's why it's very hard for us to stage and set up. So giving us 2 turns of WAAAGH pretty much doubles our power, literally, right? So
yeah, we're always talking about how it's so easy to counter the WAAAGH, especially if you're going second. And you know, me and Eddie are always having discussions about, hey, what can we do to still be a threat outside of WAAAGH turn?
I considered double WAAAGH banners, and I know that people have too. You know, a shout out to Eric Forsman, because it's is that Eric Foreman? I think that's Eric Foreman, the guy I played at our last GT. And it was funny when we were playing up, he was playing Grey Knights, and he's like, are you calling the WAAAGH every turn? And I was just like, no, I'm not, because, you know, he's just waiting to set stage on us. So I really hope when they have this double knob detachment, if they also make it on our battle round call, that would be freaking amazing. Because I know a lot of different orc players are like, yo, like, why do we have to wait till the battle round instead of a player turn? Excuse me, I meant to say player turn. So a player turn. So that's a big deal. The next one, which might be my personal favorite to my heart, is the Green Tide detachment.
Yeah.
So what it looks like, supposedly, is boys are going to get an innate 5-up invuln, which is insane, because we already know boys are oddly durable as they are, oddly punchy in some matchups. So therefore, having them with the 5-up invul, you're running fat OC everywhere. You got the snagga boys in there that are going to have a built-in 5-up invul and a 6-up feel no pain. You can only imagine you get. Hopefully, there's also like a Green Tide regen strat that I didn't hear about, but hey, you know, I'm just assuming there'll be one in there if there's a Green Tide one. But if they have a 5-up invul, I might be able to live without it, right? So you don't want it to be OP and then GW's mad, makes it a 6-up invul or something. The stratagem, though.
Yeah, this one's pretty juicy. Adding the round number to your charge roll.
Yeah, I'm feeling like turn 3 is going to look a lot more keen sometimes. I mean, but even a 2, you know, but then again, in our current detachment, we have Here We Go, but this can hopefully count towards something other than infantry, but it is a Green Tide list. So it's really hard to say. Like we said, these are leaks, possible leaks. So we can't really fully extrapolate on them, but we could get talking. We can get interested, right? But something that I already have painted up ready to go is the Dread Mob.
Yeah, so all mech and walkers gain access to an ability tree with 6 different options in exchange for their guns turning into hazardous.
High risk, high reward, baby. Right? You're like, supposedly one of those could be lethal.
I like that.
Lethals, maybe sustain hits. That way, if you're an orc player, you know, we used to have back in the day sustain 6s, what was equivalent to sustain 6s in 8th edition. You know, there's a way that you could bring it back from mechs so that, hey, I only hit you 3 times, but in reality, I hit you more than 3 times. It'd be better if it was double sustain. Maybe that's OP, but if it's only for walkers, you're not going to have ridiculous volume anyway sometimes. So who knows?
6 options is a lot, to be honest.
It is.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I would like to see that, but we'll, you know, we can just guess and hope and assume. What I'm really happy about this is the fact that we got any type of orc leaks means that is our Codex really on the horizon? Is it on the cusp?
Right.
Are we coming along over the hill? All right. So, and then I heard we're going to have a Speed Freaks attachment. Of course, love my Speed Freaks. My Speed Freak army is probably the best painted part of my collection, to be honest. So any reason I can get that on the table will make me feel good about myself. And then a Beast Snagga detachment. I mean, what is that really going to look like, though?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but for the Speed Freaks, I'd definitely like to see some up and downy or teleport shenanigans.
For Speed Freaks, I would really like it for at least reactionary moves, right? Someone gets within range of you, you need to be able to move away. One thing I always said is, for some reason, I just have a feeling in my heart that Speed Freaks should be given +1 to hit in the Speed Freak detachment, like the buggies, because they hit on 4s. That makes it so you're not stuck to just shooting everything, because they do have somewhat interesting melee profiles, decent strength thresholds, always multi-damage, low amount of attacks. So giving Speed Freaks maybe +1 to hit would be awesome, or some type of invuln.
Yeah, some durability is what I was about to say. That'd be nice.
I mean, look, you know, you play Space Wolves. What if you got similar rules to Space Wolves? I get to call stealth, or so I get to reactionary move. I get to do all these different things, come in from reserve at a different time because I'm a speed freak. So that'd be interesting, right? As for Beast Snagga detachment, I mean, what could you really do? Because Beast Snaggas are already super strong in our you know index as it is. I mean, giving them an invuln. They used to have a transhuman. Like similar to a transhuman, at least we don't have anymore. If you don't know what transhuman is, it's where everybody had to wound you on a 4 or greater only, so no one could wound you on 2s or 3s. I don't think they're bringing that back, because GW's kind of avoided that for the most part this edition. But would they give us their ability increase?
What about Squighog boys going through walls?
Going through walls, Squighog boys, right? I just want to know.
Hey, what else can you do?
I mean, what are the other Squig models, anyways?
Right. I mean, yeah, you're talking about your Beast Snagga boys, Squighog boys, the characters.
Where they're going to give Gargantuan Squiggoth and Squiggoth the keyword, but they're in the armor compendium, so they never really update that. So it is weird. This is the one part of the leak that I'm taking with the grain of salt. Also, all of it should be taken with the grain of salt. But a Beast Snagga detachment, I don't know. I always said that I don't even know why GW introduced Beast Snagga boys to a certain extent, because they should just made Ard boys, because what the heck is a Beast Snagga boy as a battle line? It's confusing, and for reasons like this, we have a Beast Snagga detachment. What do you even do with that? So I'm just overall take this with a grain of salt. It's still very exciting. It gives me encouragement that the Orc Codex is around the corner. I was being pessimistic and saying, what if GW just do it at May at us? But now I'm starting to feel that in April, mid-April, we're going to at least hear an official thing, because you know that when GW knows the leaks are falling out through the cracks, they just like to jump on it right away and kind of try to beat all the leaks to the punch. They don't like to leave the leaks out there sulking and then take away all their shine or steal their thunder, right? So if I even hear a little bit of leaks, it means that I have good inclination that GW is going to announce it for that reason, just because they don't want you to steal their thunder.
Yeah, it's a good sign, because it was starting to get a little concerning that they were teasing Tau skipped us. They were teasing Chaos Space Marines. There were already rumors of Blood Angel models coming out. It's like, geez, what happened to Orcs? We were supposed to come out in winter. That's over now. Like,
and a lot of people were freaking out, like, what? CSM has 6 detachments. It looks like we're gonna have 6 detachments too. That's actually a part of the leaks as well. I didn't write on here too, but we should have 6 detachments. We didn't hear what the last one was, so it might be Blood Axes. That's what I'm hoping. You know, everybody's always talking about orcs are brutal, orcs are this, and we're crazy, and we're savage, and we're hilarious, and we like red, all these different things. But they forget that we're cunning, and there is a certain amount of orcs that are cunning. And I think us cunning orc players would literally like to see that. But also, I want to get a shout out to ECOP Force 5. Wall taxes, gifted memberships. If I see any of you Umis in chats, I'm gonna start knocking your teeth out because there's 55 memberships given out. Besides you, Dagger, you can never accept them because you're in Australia, I guess, or something, right?
Well, yeah, as far as that 6th detachment, though, we've seen them just transfer over the existing detachment into the Codex.
True. Don't be talking about stealing my thunder. Look at what is he doing? I just said I wanted blood.
I'm just trying to bring you back to reality so you don't get hurt.
But yeah, but what is you cannot have blood axes in the Ork.
I know, it's weird.
Guys in chat, let me know what you guys think, because I can't be the only one here that's really like, hey, I need a blood axe attachment. You can't have all Mork, and no Cork.
Right.
I mean, that's how I feel.
Could they possibly turn the beast snaggas into blood axe playstyle and give them those type of infiltrating shenanigans? And
that's not a terrible idea. I don't know how that goes with beast snagging, because usually they're like mounted on squigs, kind of coming in from far away. You can see them. So
what about some scout moves for them?
Infiltration scout moves, kind of like the Canoptic Court has the enhancement, at least for infiltration. I can see that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be a weird way to blend some Gork into our Mork,
There you go.
Or Gork into possibly Mork. Actually, Mork is cunning, Gork is brutal. So, and then I see a lot of people in chat asking where these leaks from. Where did I hear these whispers in the warp? Discord's everywhere. Warhammer is a big community. So for the most part, we have heard from our little cunning grots that have been sneaking around, picking up the scraps that they heard it in a couple different Discords and such from play testers, and they're not willing to give too much more info because they don't want to be outed and such. So like I said, take it all with a grain of salt. What I'm really thinking, like I said, the best part of this leak is that even if this is only 50% true, the whole point is that once leaks start coming out, the actual Codex starts getting announced soon after, because it puts pressure on GW, right?
That's what we've seen too with the Tau rules. I think the Dark Angels rules also apply to that, where they originate from a Discord server, and people weren't sure, like, are these rules true or are they not? And it did lead to some rules actually being real.
And the source that I heard this from said that it was the same person who mentioned Tau, and they were right about Tau and the other factions that were released too. So whether it's exact what the rules are, his leaks are actually a true source of leaks. And like I said, I'm just excited because if you start leaking it, GW is going to start reacting to it. So take this as, I don't believe any of you guys. You guys are ugly gits. I don't care. Just be excited that the book's going to be released. That's what we care about, because a lot of people are getting worried and starting to make jokes in Discord or anywhere you go. Like, the Orks, the Ork Codex is fell off a cargo ship. Like, that was the best one. I was like, yeah, thanks, dude. So I see some people saying here they don't know how to not be a Humi anymore. They don't know how to collect the membership. Did we figure that out?
Yeah. So it's going to be a setting in your YouTube account in the chat that allows you to accept memberships. And if you still can't accept them, then you have to go into your advanced settings in your YouTube account and you have to turn off, I forgot what the phrase was.
The business account?
Yeah, like a branded account. You had to turn that off and make it your main account, and then you'll be able to accept these gifted memberships.
Yeah, for sure. Also, some of you guys are already getting started in what you guys are thinking and everything. So keep it going, because we're definitely reading the chats and we're going to respond to all that, especially when we start going to the community pictures or the Golden Demon pictures. We'll pick up on chats to keep this conversation going. So we're not done talking about the leaks. I'm definitely going to interact with all you guys are saying. But, we just got to keep it, because we got guys like Lucas here. Yes, blood axes are important, but other leaks say no detachment for them. Oh, no, dude. Why are people trying to pop my bubble already, dude? Man, you guys. I mean, you're being realistic. I get it, but I don't need realistic, because I just need to believe so I can achieve, and it can be real. And Bad Daggers is saying we need a Bad Moon style detachment for shooting. That's why I was like, maybe the Dreadwall will be the Mech Walker detachment might be a little interesting, where they give us a bunch of shooting options, and it's not limited to just walkers. Maybe all vehicles can get them. They compromise there, but
yeah, this is just a snippet of what these detachments could be. So we could see some of those ideas be integrated into these other detachments.
I like this one. An additional AP or innate 1 hit +1 to hit for Beast Snagga units. They do need an additional AP. If you're going to run a whole Beast Snagga unit or army, and there's a whole detachment and you're stuck on -1 AP, you're just going to get run over by like Grey Knights or custom. Mostly I'm thinking Grey Knights because they have Armor of Contempt. But I mean, there's a bunch of armies that have Armor of Contempt all over the place. So, and just great armor saves. So you can't really not have only 1 AP throughout the whole list necessarily.
Yeah, and we got some tough matchups that like to run 2-up save model units, and they also have Armor of Contempt, like Volton.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Oh, and then we have 5 gifted wall
Oh.
tactic memberships from John Anto. Let's go. Speaking of John Anto, great job at Adepticon. We did an interview with him where he'll actually break down his off meta list, and this will be released on Monday, I believe.
Yes.
So he'll give you guys some insight as to how that even happened. I really like it because it was a very humble, unique perspective on what he took for how he came up with the list. And he didn't even go in there being arrogant. He just said, this is what I'm going to do. And, you know, he got what he wanted. So thank you, John. I know that was very generous of you and everything. And any of you guys coming in right now for the Codex least, yes, we'll show you again. These are some of the leaks that are going on. 5 up invuln, possible for the Green Tide list. You get a strat for current battle round, add to the charge roll. You get 2 turns of wall if there's a Nob/Warboss detachment. Possible Dreadwall Walker detachment where you get 6 possible options for your weapon tree, and then you get to pick them, which that would be interesting for melee too. Just saying,
Right.
I just thought about, right? So, and then, but you exchange that for lethals. So you can just go like, oh, and blow yourself up, you know? So peace out, Death Dreads.
That's what's making me think that because the hazardous is, I think, only tied to shooting, right? Is there examples of hazardous being on melee? I don't believe so.
I can't think of one off.
So this could be your Bad Moons /
Yes.
Dread Mob detachment.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. And yes, we're losing clans, but getting the detachments. Everybody kind of did that, right? For the Space Marines, they, for the most part, within their, you know, their rules, each of their detachments is pretending to be an actual sub faction or chapter, right? So like the Iron Storm is actually Iron Hands, the Anvil is Imperial Fist, things like that. So yeah, we're not going to have them there, but that's why we can call our clans whatever we want, because we're all war bosses. We all wall our own ways. So it's okay. It's just for creativity. So I like that. Make sure you guys collect those memberships because we're sitting around, what, 60 right now that people were handed out.
60 up for
so
grabs.
Collect those you get, because remember, we have the raffle that's going on for our 2K celebration, right? So we always like to do raffles and incorporate what you guys do with us back to you, because that's what it's all about, right?